YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with my channel update for July. So, quite an interesting month. Of course, I got to go to PAX in Australia. That was good fun and everything like that. I've actually done a video on PAX for those that are interested, and I'll link down below. Probably lots of link down below for this particular video. Always like to start these with other pickups. So this is stuff that I haven't done a specific video for, or stuff that it's going to take time to put a video together, just to let you know that I've got them. And this only arrived yesterday in the mail, and it is a Game Chasers t-shirt. So I'd like to support the Game Chasers in their show. So I've got one of the t-shirts. That's cool. Obviously it's a bit cold down here at the moment, so I haven't had a chance to wear it or out and about or anything, but I will as the weather warms up. I also subscribed to their DVD of Season 1, which is going quite well. They sold their original goal that they needed to a minimum number of copies so they could get the DVDs made, so the DVDs are definitely being made. And now they're going for their second goal. If they get up above $20,000, they're going to add a third disc with extra footage to all of the sets of DVDs for no extra cost for everybody who's got their name down, and they're getting very close. So if you like the Game Chasers and want to support them, go check that out. Now also, I should have my props nearby, shouldn't I? I also actually picked this up in the last couple of days. I was just in the local EB Games, although I haven't finished it, I've played a fair bit of Diablo 3, and I got this strategy guide, and it was only $9. And I thought, well, I quite like the game, it's it's in full colour, and it's got lots of tips and bits and bobs. I don't generally get a lot of strategy guides, but that is a game that I do enjoy playing, so just a nice little added extra for that one. Now the next pickup is a big pickup, so I probably should have unhooked some wires before I started thinking about picking it up. It is heavy too, so give me a second as I drop the keyboard. So my friend Greg, who nicely repaired my Japanese Sony MSX 2 Plus machine, came by the other day and gave me this, which is a Silicon Graphics 02, and it's pretty much the last model of these that was released. So it's got a 300 megahertz RISC processor in it, SGI processor. It has a proper video capture card in it, a couple of hard drives. Here's the back for people who haven't had a look. And it weighs a blinking ton. It also has a whole heap of software on it. It runs a Unix derivative called IRIX. And also with it, it gave me a stack of manuals. Now this is a photocopied one, so that's on Maya. Maya is the software used by a lot of the movie production companies for special effects, and I believe this particular unit, he has about half a dozen of them, and a larger unit that was used as the server was used as a team who worked on one of the Jurassic Park sequels. So you have your showcase, a bit of software that comes with it, IRIX admin. Now IRIX, as far as a flavour of Unix goes, is very much like Solaris in look and feel and the command structure. Developer Magic, which is like a C IDE, and another IRIX admin book. So they're both on different ones. This one's on software installation and licensing, and the other one was on disks and file systems. So I'm slowly having a look at this. And he apparently has more discs that he's going to bring out, and it is absolutely chock-a-block full of software. And he has installed all of this big pack of CDs on it, and as you can see, most of them are original. So there's all sorts of patches and extra software discs in there, so that's going to take a little time to play with, and I need to work out. I mean, it has a normal obviously VGA output, and I really do need to use it on a bigger monitor than the one I have here. Probably needs to be on this one we're looking at. Now it does have video out, and so I've got some really cool demos and everything that I want to play and show you, so I'll do a special video on that, but you need to give me a little while, because this month work has been pretty hectic, and of course I went away for a few days for PAX, which didn't help, and I'm still unfortunately having shoulder problems. I've got to go and, which picking up that computer probably wasn't good for me, but anyway, I've got to go and have an operation on my shoulder shortly. So anyway, I thought I'd catch up on some responses, because also I haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of in-between videos. I suppose it hasn't helped that I've had a few pickups, and I always like to fit those in. Now it's probably about a week or so old, for Lawnbowers Post 1975, because you always ask such good questions. And it's about my favourite experience in the YouTube community. Now there are several I could pick, but probably one. I'll pick two that are related. Well, actually, no, I'll pick three. I sent copies of my original games that I wrote back in the 80s to Mark Vigia, or Lactabilis Prime, Steve Benway, and one MSX to go John, and they all did videos at various times. I mean, Steve Benway did a gameplay of each of the games, so that was, you know, a really good moment for me as a programmer to see my software being played by other people, and that's one of my favourite moments in the YouTube community. Obviously very self-serving, because but I mean, as a programmer, it's just nice for other people to see them play your games. And we'll have more on my games later. Now I'd like to, another smaller channel, watched a video of theirs earlier in the week. He's called Max Impact 24. So responses are a very good way to help promote smaller channels, by the way. And his question was, it's around complete collections. So what he's saying, what particular items or things do you think you need to complete particular parts of your collection? Now I could do an obvious answer, like, you know, I obviously need so many titles to complete my Master System collection. I'm also going for various, you know, collections of shoot 'em ups across some of the things. But I suppose one of my absolute primary collections is the collection of hardware that is related to the original Spectra video machines, and there really are only, other than the sub-models, probably about the only one that I'm missing is a Memotech MTX computer. Hopefully I'll flash up some pictures. It was primarily available in UK and Europe, and it's a machine that was brought out probably based on the original Spectra video design around the time where the MSX group in the UK got all excited about the MSX, and that's where the Einstein sprung out as well. But I have an Einstein, so I've covered that base, and I'm not after getting every single model. Like, I have one Einstein, there's another one, I'm not going to get that one. And obviously, because if you get too carried away, there are so many different models of MSX machines. I have an MSX1, I have an MSX2, and I have an MSX2 Plus. I don't need to get all different varieties of those. Maybe if one day I came across an MSX Turbo-R, I'd probably get one of those. But as far as machines that are based on the Z80 chipset with a TI-99 processor, graphics processor, the Memotech is one of the machines I'm missing. Unless there are some other machines out there that were based on that design, because there are a tremendous amount of machines, and even obscure ones like the Dick Smith or Creativision machine, which doesn't use a Z80 but uses the same graphics chip. It uses a 6502, but I've got one of those, so that would probably nicely complete a collection for me. So interesting question, not an obvious one to answer straight off as well. And I'll go for a third one, because I said I haven't done any responses for a little while. And this one's by another one of my favourite YouTubers called Atari Leaf. And he's talking about my least played games in my collection. because we all have, lots of games, and I'm sure there's lots of games we haven't played for a while, but there are certain games that are probably, certain types now. Probably, a lot of people are going to be sports games and things like that. But I'm actually going to answer RPGs. I actually have a lot of RPGs in my collection, and I like collecting them. But I really don't get time to play them. I would like to get more time to play them, but I have 4 kids, family, work, and everything like that, and RPGs require a big commitment in time. So at the moment, so as I said, I could have said sports games, because I generally don't play sports games at all, because I'm not very good at them, and they're better multiplayer. But I don't really collect those, so I'm saying that, I collect RPGs, but I really don't get to play them. So that's an interesting question. I'll put links to all 3 of those videos down below for any people who want to make responses themselves. Now I've been upping the ante on my repairs lately. Quite pleasingly, I did the EDT1138, posted a thing about an FN module you could add onto your Master System, and I am particularly fond of the Master System. What it does is it adds the additional sound capabilities that were built into the Japanese Master System to a Western Master System, either a PAL or an NTSC. I ordered one of these modules now. They're not cheap, so you really do have to really want to do this mod. It's not a cheap mod, but it's easy to do. Here's another one right here for those who think, but I will link the video where I do the mod. I had some issues. My original Master System, which is this one here, it would not work in. So it probably has a broken trace somewhere or something like that. It works perfectly otherwise, but wouldn't work with the mod. But a very kind gentleman gave me a second one while I was at PAX, and I have added the mod to that, and it works perfectly. I've got a video on that, but the next thing that I did, I thought, well, now that I've got up to speed, I'm comfortable with the insides of the Master System, I decided to look at the 50-60 Hz mod, which is so simple, it's not funny. It is seriously. So I've modded this one as well. So I modded this one first to make sure I did it right. So what I've done is added a toggle switch, and there is a so you basically have a left and right and a ground wire, and there are 3 points on the board that you need to solder to, and you need to cut one trace so that those 2 of those points aren't always wired together. So it does require taking the whole circuit board out and turning it over, but it's really simple to do. So now this is a 50-60 Hz modded machine, which means you can play the games. Usually it's music speed that suffers. Not all games. It doesn't always affect the actual speed of the game. It depends on the game. But in just about all cases, it gets rid of the black borders at the top and the bottom of the screen. So it takes up more of the screen. It looks nicer, and in just about all cases, the music plays at a faster speed. Which, after you've then listened to it at the faster speed, and you go back to the power mode, they sound awfully slow. So just one little thing. So I've done it to this one, and then I quickly did it to my other ones. My other ones, FM modded and 50-60 Hz modded. So I'm very pleased with myself with that sort of thing. So whilst I was up to speed with that, I went out and bought all the components I need to AV mod my NES top loader. Because at the moment, as I said, I haven't actually done it yet. It's only got RF out, and I'll only work with this little Chinese TV that I have up here. No other TVs in the house can I get both picture and sound. Usually I can get the picture on most of them, but I can't get the sound. Or the sound will be so fuzzy that to be unusable. It really, the only other NES I have is the NES over in the cabinet, and that's a PAL one. So, NES games in PAL mode are dreadful, in my opinion. So I'm going to do this. One thing though, it's got those horrible, dreaded security screws in it, same as the Game Gear, which I haven't fixed yet for the very same reason, and the Super Nintendo that EDT1138 sent me over there. Can't open that one up either because I don't have a security bit. So I went to order one off Amazon, and unfortunately the only supplier won't ship to Australia. So I have found another one on eBay, but I haven't got around to ordering it yet. So that's going to be my next hardware project. A little bit more complicated because I need to build a circuit, of course. Yeah, I've been enjoying that more, and hope to, fix more of my machines as necessary. Pick up other consoles and fix them up as needed. I do have a few Game Gears to do, and I won't be keeping duplicates. I'll just get rid of those and use those to further my collection. Right, so next is on to my the re-release of my games. The very first of my titles is EA Classics, which comes with 3 games, so it's a multi-cart. It comes with Meteor Swarm, Birds of Orion, and Munchmania. Meteor Swarm is obviously a clone of Asteroids, and I can proudly say will be the very first Asteroids game ever running on the ColecoVision. Birds of Orion is a little bit like Phoenix, except it doesn't have all of the levels. It was just a mini game that always came on side B of the original cassette tape of Meteor Swarm. And Munchmania is my own version of Pac-Man. All the games are finished, working, tested, added extra sound effects and music and everything like that, and running perfectly on the Coleco. My 2 beta testers have done an excellent job, and as soon as I can work out how to program EEPROMs, my 2 beta testers will be getting a present from me. Now, speaking of that, I have additional EEPROMs and logic chips, and I have cartridge cases coming for the original Spectra Video, which are the same size as Atari 8-bit cartridges. They're coming from Atari Max over in the US. Obviously coming C-Freight because they haven't showed up yet. I have cartridge cases for MSX, right? And I'll be able to use the same EEPROM and logic chips. This is what one looks like assembled, by the way. So label goes over here. So I've got enough of those to do for a while. I seriously don't imagine selling too many MSX ones, and obviously original Spectra Video ones are going to be extremely limited. I don't have a case solution for the original for the SG-1000 SC-3000 series yet, but I will be making up some circuit boards for all 3, getting them here and getting it all working on all 3, and I'm going to get some boxes printed that will be generic, that I can change the which computer it's for in one section on the box. Now obviously the ColecoVision version is going to be distributed by CollectorVision over in Canada, and they've put it up on their website. I'll put links down below for that, and it can be pre-ordered, and the final ROM is being ready for production, is being sent off to them later today. So that is finally all ready to go. I'm very excited that it's finally out there. And it also allows me to concentrate on the next title as well, which is Pixidus, which was my biggest selling game back in the day, and it was vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. Now back in the day I did limit it to game code and running memory to 12.5K, so I could run in the original Spectra Video through an 8. Now it's going to be a single game on a ROM, and I've got 32K of ROM, so I'm going to and I do have my original notes. I had to chop the 3rd level down by about a half because I ran out of room, and I never added any music for the same reasons. So both of those things will be going in. I'll be enhancing the graphics a little bit, and obviously doing some music, and it will have different end of level bosses for each level, and then seeing on how I go of room I might even add another level after that. I'm quite enjoying working on that. I've done simple things. I've ported some of the code across, and I've got the title screen working. And I've also decided that I don't want to sacrifice speed and make it a plain Coleco cartridge. It's going to support the Super Game module, which also means that it'll be identical to the enhanced MSX version as well. So just having that extra memory available allows you to not make too many sacrifices with the game, with the speed of the game. And it does have a few nice tricks and visual effects in it to make it a nice looking game, and I want to make it the best I can. And then hopefully not too long after, I'll be working on my Cavern Fighter game, which is my pretty much a clone of the original arcade game Scramble, which I'm a big fan of. We'll see how we go in getting. Now that I've got my first one out of the way, I have a bit of a programming kit ready. The other releases should follow reasonably quickly. But as I said, I do want to enhance each one, and we do need to do a bit of play testing and things like that. And it will depend on real world how that goes. Also depends on the schedule of operations and things with my shoulder. But you never know, if I have to have some recuperation time for the shoulder, it may actually allow me time to play with that sort of thing. So anyway, it's been a very good month. Another great month in YouTube community. Lots of great videos and content being put out there. And I've been very lucky to add some very nice items to my collection during the month too. Now, I have gone a little crazy on one of the Japanese auction sites, but I will be getting a rather large box probably in about 2 months. It has to come sea freight because I did get a bit carried away, but the title was just so cheap I couldn't resist. So there's a teaser for something that will be coming up, so it mightn't even make it by the time I do the next one of these. Just depends on how I go. Sea freight from Japan takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. But it has to come that, otherwise the freight will cost me more than the items cost me, and we don't want that. Alright, so thank you for listening to my monthly waffle, yes, thanks for watching, thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll catch you all later.